Unable to locate him. We've investigated countless leads, and sadly, none have panned out. Hundreds of police officers, firefighters, and EMS professionals from across the state of Massachusetts, many of whom are specifically trained in search and rescue operations, have taken part in this search. Our search has taken us from Chiltonville to North Plymouth, Manomet, downtown, and the waterfront. We have physically checked miles and miles of area where we had hoped Mr. Riviello might be located. We used multiple heat-sensing drones, as well as the State Police Air Wing, throughout the daytime and nighttime hours. Over a dozen canines have been deployed that are specifically trained to locate missing persons. Our mountain bike, ATV, motorcycle, and patrol officers have worked feverishly to try and locate Mr. Riviello. Our detective units are still tirelessly working, running down leads. At this point, we are transitioning from a traditional ground search to an investigative search that leverages technology. We will continue to look for Mr. Riviello until he is found. Our thoughts are with Mr. Riviello's family during this difficult time, and we will be there for them at every step as we move forward. We would like to thank all of our law enforcement partners, the Plymouth Fire Department, the Department of Fire Services, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and all of the Plymouth residents who have helped out during the search. Anyone with any type of information regarding the whereabouts of Mr. Riviello should contact the Plymouth Police Department. Lastly, and most importantly, if you or anyone that you know picked up an elderly man yesterday anywhere in Plymouth, you need to let us know that immediately as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dan Ravello, I'm Rod's son. I want to start by thanking the Plymouth Police Department and all of their law enforcement and public safety partners for their efforts thus far. The resources that have been brought out for the search and the ongoing investigation have been incredible, and we truly appreciate everything that's been done so far to try to locate our dad. I also want to thank all the members of the public who have reached out, shared posts on Facebook, and gone and tried to search and find him. It's truly amazing what this community has done, and we really appreciate everyone who's tried to help. I'm asking that anyone who may have seen our dad yesterday or today, or who may have picked up someone to help them or give them a ride somewhere, to please call Plymouth Police or 911 with any information. We're obviously disappointed and scared that we haven't found Dad yet, but his 70th birthday is in just a few weeks, and we're not giving up hope. We're confident that he'll be home safe to celebrate his birthday with us soon. Thank you.
Can you hold up is that a poster?
This is a poster that some community members made and printed on their own and were handing out today during their search. So we really appreciate everyone for helping do this.
Sure.
Can you just back up a little bit and tell us about his last known whereabouts and what you know leading up to this point?
Sure. Mr. Riviello was discharged from the Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital in Plymouth, which is right over there, at about 11:15 yesterday morning.
And he was released without a phone, we understand, without someone to pick him up? I mean,
He did not have his wallet. He had no phone.
And is that common for someone to be released in that way with memory issues?
I can't really speak to that, ma'am. You'd have to ask the hospital that.
Why are you saying anyone could pick him up? Do you believe there was a car that may have been involved in this?
There's a possibility of that, yes. That will come out at a later time. Right now, it's just preliminary, but if we do get anything, you guys will be the first to know.
When you say you're switching from a ground search to a technology search, what does that look exactly?
We're going to use any type of technology, whether it be drones, more heat-sensing aircraft, closed-circuit televisions, ring cameras, anything that we possibly can.
So you're still going to be out here?
That's correct. We're still going to be actively searching for him.
The car person who may have picked him up, is that in a malicious sense, or?
No, that wouldn't appear so.
Can you tell us a little bit, about the challenges he may have facing, health-wise or physically, just being out for this long?
I could let his daughter or son speak to that a little better, probably. They're asking what different health issues, cognitive
The
strokes,
question
things like
is,
that.
can you just share with us any concerns you have about any challenges he might be facing while out alone in the city and leaving the hospital?
Of course, I think I'd worry about myself in this heat for 26 hours and all of you, and obviously the search team that's been out here looking for him. My father did have some memory issues. He had had a series of mini strokes that had done some damage to his brain, and so he doesn't have a lot of logic and reasoning to make good decisions in order to get himself safely home. And so obviously that's been our biggest concern over the last 26 hours is we don't know how he would react in this situation, because it wouldn't be like you or I would.
When did you realize that he was not where he was supposed to be?
So my mom came to visit me in Provincetown yesterday, and when she got there, I texted my dad to let her know that she had made it safely, and I didn't get a response, which I thought was funny because we text back and forth all the time. So a little while later, I texted again and no response, and then I called and he didn't answer. So I reached out to a neighbor who lives in their building, and she agreed. She offered to go into their unit to see if he was there, and he wasn't home. So that's when I called the police. So it was just sort of my intuition that something was not right because I hadn't heard back from Dad.
What transpired before you ended up in the hospital? From what you can tell us?
We really can't put that together very well. My mom and he go out on a morning walk every day in the morning, and she wasn't there, and we think he went out on his morning walk by himself. It's a very short walk, so it's sort of around the block in Manomet. He's done it hundreds of times, and it seems as though he may have tripped and fallen somewhere along the way, and either someone helped him to the fire department or he made his way there himself and then was transported to the hospital, and after that we were never contacted.
I know you guys talked a little bit about the outpouring support from the community. Can you tell us what kinds of outreach you had? Well, is it social media? Is it phone calls? What are they doing?
Yeah, it's certainly been, we posted on a community page in Plymouth yesterday to try to get the word out, and the amount of people that have been sharing it and commenting on it and offering suggestions for places to search, and then just, groups of people who have organized on their own to make up a flyer, use their own money to print a flyer, meet up at the library and decide who's going to go to what location. I mean, for our parents who have only been part of this community for 18 months, it's really astonishing that people would care that much to try to help, and we really, really appreciate it.
Where were they coming from?
They lived in upstate New York.
Can you talk a little bit, have had any contact with the hospital since then? And what's their, is the standard operating procedure just to send someone out?
So our main focus the past 26 hours has been in finding my dad. And so I have not spent a lot of time finding out from the hospital why they made the decisions that they made. I did speak to them. They told me he was released to home. We did learn that they offered him a taxi voucher that apparently was taking too long, and he became agitated and left without it. I guess that is their protocol. But again, the focus has been on finding Dad, and then we can figure out what went wrong later.
If your dad's watching right now, what's your appeal to him?
Oh my God, come home. Like, you're okay. We're not mad. We're not mad. And we miss you so much. And we just want you to be okay.
And you're Michelle.
I'm Michelle. I'm his daughter.
And Captain, anything else that you want the community to do? I know that there was an appeal on Facebook about the ring cameras.
Yeah, if anybody sees anything on their Ring cameras, if anybody sees this gentleman walking by, we certainly need to know about that. And once again, if anybody that hasn't heard about it before, please check your property. Check decks, under decks, in sheds, in bushes, anywhere that a person might be. We'd like it any area checked if possible.
Captain, can you talk about the heat for a second? Obviously, that's an issue for Mr. Ravello, but you're shifting gears in this investigation. Is that in part to free up resources for other people who might be at Noges downtown? There are a couple ambulances dealing with people with heat exhaustion, fever, things like that. Is that part of this?
No, our officers have been, some of the guys here have worked for 24 hours straight, and of course they have to stay hydrated. The heat's always an issue, but we're going to get through it, and we're trying to find Mr. Revelio. There's certainly heat issues throughout the town right now. It is what it is. It's 90 degrees out, but we'll work through anything and try to help anybody out.
Have you had any good leads?
We've had countless leads. None of them have panned out.
Can you just go through what he was last wearing? I know we have the picture, but just kind of so we have it.
Sure, he was last wearing a pair of running sneakers with distinctive white soles. He was wearing white socks, a pair of blue shorts, and a teal polo shirt, and he may have had a T-shirt underneath, and also a Yankees ball cap.
And so one of the pictures that you posted was him leaving the hospital. Can you tell us about the other picture? What was there was a child, I believe?
Yeah, the other, obviously trying to get his picture out. That was a picture of my dad with my son, who graduated from preschool last year. I thought it was a good full body shot to be able to show what he looked like, and the reason that he moved to Massachusetts to be near his grandkids.
Do you think he might be trying to get back to New York, like with this memory?
After this many hours in the heat, I can't imagine that he's making good decisions, and so I don't know how we rule anything out.
But we have family back in New York who are aware, so if he shows up, I'm sure they'll find him.
And anything more on the circumstances of that car that you're looking for that you think is maybe wrong?
No, I don't think anything more than
If we get
what he
a
said.
solid lead, you guys will be the first to know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So sorry. Sorry.